Hey there and welcome to what's going to be an extremely eye-opening video for 90% of real estate agents and mortgage lenders out there. Now, if you're not one of those two, this principle you can still apply in your local market if you're a local business owner or you run some sort of high-ticket online product. But this video is specifically for real estate agents and mortgage lenders who I work with across the US, have clients in almost every state now. And yeah, I'm just going to share with you what's been working for one of my clients in New York extremely well due to multiple factors that I'm going to break down in this video, and how he got 43 appointments, spending $1,000 in ads. And this exact strategy we use, and without any cold calling, any door knocking, any buying leads or anything like that, or relying on anyone else. He owns his own pipeline, his own leads, and got 43 appointments with 90 minutes of his time. Yes, you heard me correctly, just 90 minutes in 2 sessions. So I'm gonna break it down for you on this video. I'm gonna give you absolutely everything you need to understand this concept. It's new to real estate, and it's very popular in other markets like high ticket, services, that kind of thing. But we've especially dialed in for real estate agents, realtors in the US and Canada. And it works in other markets as well, but that's traditionally who we work with. And then also for mortgage lenders as well, vice versa. Sometimes they do it together, sometimes separate. So if you're one of those, this video is going to be extremely eye-opening for you. So let's dive right in. So Efrain Reyes, one of my clients, he has been a real estate agent for I think around 9 years. And in 2 weeks of his time, he booked 43 appointments, spent $1,000 on ads, and that's $23 cost per appointment, I believe. So that's absolutely crazy. So 9 years he did social media. He bought leads from various different places. He was a Zillow Flex agent at one point. And if you want to see the full case study, the full breakdown from Efrain's mouth specifically, then I'm gonna put a link in the description below. It's my last video, so you can go and check that out separately. It's about a 25 minute full breakdown of his perspective, what he's done, what he thinks about the new system that we're running, and how it's changed his pipeline forever. And as you can see at the bottom, it says, I had to hire a VA just to manage his pipeline. That's how busy he was. And these are his leads that he owns outright. What are we talking about here? We're talking about webinars. That's what I run for my clients here at launchwebinars.io. And I run buyer and sometimes seller and sometimes even investor, but predominantly buyer webinars for real estate agents across the US. And I'm gonna break down exactly what that looks like and how it's completely changed the game for him. So most agents, they're stuck in a one-to-one trap. So they're selling one-to-one continuously. Now the top agents who have been in the game for 30, 40, 50 years, they're in a different league because they rely on referrals, where people will just come to them, bang, oh, you did my son's, my daughter's, my dog's house, and now I just want to work with you because you did a great job. When you're at that level, that's fantastic. When you've got 200 reviews on Zillow, 1,000 reviews on Zillow, like I spoke to an agent yesterday, that's amazing, and I'm really happy for the agents that are there. But 98% of agents are not there. 98% of agents are fighting for business, and they're speaking to leads one-to-one. So I'm not talking about referrals who are ready to go. I'm talking about leads you're having to nurture. I'm talking about leads that you've bought, leads that have opted in, leads that you've got through your social media. Wherever your leads flow is coming from, you're speaking to them one-to-one. I've got 3 examples here. Cold calling, $100 to get 1 conversation. There's 0 trust, high rejection rate, low leverage. That's probably for newer agents if you're still cold calling. Door knocking, again, that's a very extremely outdated strategy, but local market farming is a different one. It's a more updated version. Doing postcards, I know a lot of agents tend to do that, and that's pretty expensive. Doing postcards to your local market, it's good for getting your face out there for branding, but how many of those actually convert on a consistent basis that you can track and then scale? Not very many. And then obviously we've got buying leads. You're getting burnt by multiple different lead gen companies, buying leads, and it just becomes a mess. And every time you buy leads, you've got to, they're speaking to other agents, and you don't know where these leads have been, and they're not really yours. So it just gets extremely, extremely messy. Now, you're working, but you're not leveraging your time. And that's where webinars absolutely change the game. So what webinars allow you to do is stop selling and start educating. Yeah, people have information. The information is abundant, but information will always win over selling a service, right? Selling a service compared to selling information is people will see you as the authority, and they'll see you as someone who can actually, look up to and guide. People in the real estate market, they don't need an offer. They don't need someone to just answer a question. They need a leader. They need someone to lead them for the right steps for them specifically. They need someone to take charge, give them the right information that they need at that specific time, allow them to then say, okay, he's given me this information, she's given me this information, here are the steps I can take, right? As a buyer or a seller or whatever it is. It's almost an information overload. That's the feedback we get from the general public in America right now. There's an abundance of information and it's overwhelming, right? They don't know what's right, what's wrong. They hear things from TikTok, their neighbors. Everyone thinks they're a real estate agent or a mortgage lender these days. And this noise, this consistent noise, it gets too much for people. And then guess what? They have analysis paralysis. They don't make a decision. And what this system allows you to do is get someone who has an interest, and for an hour, anywhere from 45 minutes actually to an hour and a half, they're going to sit there one-on-one and listen to you educate them on the exact path in their local market that they need. A trusted expert. And when you educate, you instantly become an expert. Think about back when you were at school, or back when you were in college, right? The professors, they had instant credibility. Anything they said, even if it wasn't entirely accurate, just because they were a professor, they were teaching information to a class of people, they instantly had major authority. And this is the same principle we've taken out of those traditional education systems and put them into a business, your business, a local business, where you can become the man or woman to go to find that information for their local market. And once people start hearing about this, you're going to get at the gym, at the hairdressers, at the barbers, wherever you're at, you're going to get people saying, oh, John, you do those webinars. Yeah, no, my friend told me about it and he said the information was amazing. Look, actually XYZ, here's my problem. Can you help me? And that's where it starts flowing. So stop selling and being referred to as a used car salesman or a professional door opener, and separate yourself from the rest. The 90% of real estate agents, they're all doing the same things. Zillow Flex, farming their local, it's all same. And that's why no one's standing out, because everyone's desperate to sell leads. 70% of real estate agents and lenders didn't even sell anything last year. I'm pretty sure that's a statistic. I don't know how accurate it is, but I've heard it multiple times. They didn't even sell anything. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's not accurate, because I speak to, we book 15 appointments a day right now. And we speak to agents every day, my appointment setters do, and my salespeople. And we hear it all the time. And most agents, they're just not even selling anything. And you need to separate yourself from those agents. And if you do the same things as them, you look the same as them, guess what? The market is going to see you as the same. And what webinars allow you to do is separate yourself from the pack, be that leader, be the authority, and hold their hand through this process, hold their hand through the journey, not one-to-one, but you can do it many to one. You can do it 30, 40, 50. Efrain had 120 people in his webinar with 145 minutes of his time. And that's just absolutely mind-blowing. So let's move on here. Now, persona versus platform, right? Chasing individual leads, which probably what you're currently doing is on the left. Chasing individual leads, selling a service, one-to-one exhaustion, and you're just being ignored. And you're not being treated as a trusted authority because you're being seen the same as everyone else in the market. Where having a platform where you're educating multiple people at once, you're attracting massive audiences, which we obviously drive all the traffic for all of our agents, so we handle that, but even if you're doing it yourself, you attract a massive audience using a key offer and identifying a key problem in your local market. We're educating the market, one-to-many leverage, right? So we're educating them, we're doing it one-to-many, we're leveraging your time as a top agent, which you should be doing, and you have unquestioned authority. Why? Because you're educating them. It's so simple and so beautiful at the same time. It's really been game-changing for so many agents. The authority engine, right? This is what it allows you to do. It's trust that they're missing. Homeowners and home buyers, just like you as an agent, probably bought a program, bought leads in the past, and you've been burnt and you've lost that trust in companies, and now you feel, oh, I'm not sure. It's the same thing in the real estate market with home buyers and sellers, with the local people in your market. It's the exact same thing. Even if they haven't been burnt, they've heard things, they've heard horror stories, it's their biggest investment, they're worried, they're nervous, they're anxious. All these thoughts and feelings are going around their head. They just need a leader. And the authority engine has 3 simple steps to it. So the educational webinar is step 1. You don't sell homes, you sell the process of buying a home. You solve their fears before they even ask. This is for a buying webinar. You can do sellers, you can do investors, you can do Airbnbs, you can do co-rent, which is where you have multiple, I think that's the name for it. There's a few companies that do that, where you have multiple people, you split up a house and you have multiple people in the same house. Co-living, there you go. That's the terminology I was looking for. And you can do whatever you want. Anyway, step 1 is the educational webinar. Step 2 is the targeted ad engine to drive the traffic, targeting people, speaking to their specific pain point in the market right now. I've already mentioned a lot of the pain points. We drive local and motivated buyers directly to a digital classroom that you, the agent, would host. And step 3, one-to-many conversation, right? So you're only presenting something one time, only once, 45 minutes to an hour and 20, depending on how long your webinar or masterclass, as we like to call them, is. And then the system just handles the rest. People will book into your calendar automatically. Why? Because they've listened to you speak, they've connected with you, you've asked them questions, they've spoken in the chat box, they've communicated with you, and they've spent their Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday evening with you about something that they dream of doing. If it's their first time, or maybe it's their second purchase and they want an investment property and they're just not sure where the best place in the local market in Orlando is to buy. There's so many different subcategories of people who need different things, right? So you can target your webinar based on your local market for that. For example, I've got a guy right now running a masterclass with me, and he's in a market where the minimum rent is $5,000 for the people he wants to target. And that's exactly who we're going after. And that's a different copy. It's a different messaging in the ads compared to someone who maybe in a market where the average home value is 300,000 and you just want to help people get on the home ladder. It's slightly different. So you need to think about how does this apply to your market. But your presence alone and you doing what you do best on a one-to-one level, but just doing it multiple people at a time, is what can book you an extreme amount of appointments if you do the right things along the way. Excuse me. As I mentioned, you do the expert, you do what you do best on a day-to-day, and we will be the engine. Or if you want to do it yourself, obviously, you can do that. But you need an engine and it needs to have the right pieces in place. I'm talking the CRM, I'm talking proven slides which drive bookings. Right, we don't want to host a webinar for an hour and then it not produce any bookings. So we want to have a good engine with automations and follow-up and callers, ideally AI. We want to have real VAs calling people as soon as they opt in within 5 minutes to get anywhere from a 30 to 45% show-up rate, which can vary. As I mentioned, the ads, the webinar, tech setup, the registration pages, the AI follow-up, the slides for actually presenting it, booking links, having a booking automation. There's a lot of moving parts in the back end, which is vital you dial in if you want to have a consistent flow of webinars and build on it. Because the beauty of webinars is you run one, let's say I start now, I run one next week. I run another one 2 weeks after. Let's say I do 2 a month. Now, I have appointments with people. Not everyone's going to be ready to go. Some people might need credit repair. Some people might need down payment assistance. Some people might be in Africa and they're waiting to come back because they've been saving the elephants. I'm pulling things out of a hat here, but you get my point. People take time to convert, and we have the systems on the back end, and you need the systems on the back end to nurture them. But the beauty of webinars is it gets to a point after you've run so many webinars where people will start converting like this. Because after a while, everyone who's gone through those programs or they're now ready to go, because you've been nurturing them, they all go at once. And that's when you have those huge months. One of my clients hit like 60K a month in like one of his months after like 8 months of doing webinars, because everyone converted at once. And that's so beautiful, and that gives you that structure. And once you have a structured webinar which is successful, you're running bi-weekly or monthly, however you want to play the game. You can actually have a system where you put dollars in and you know for a fact you're going to get dollars out because you've seen it work with your own eyes. And that's when you're not relying on anyone else in your business. Agents, lenders, I know you're tired of relying on other people to put food on your table. Well, this system stops that forever, and that's the beauty of it. You just show up in your living room from home. This is where I shoot my webinars. I run webinars for agents as well to teach them about this beautiful system that we've created here at Launch Webinars. And I do it right here from my own home. And you know, I've got no pants on. No, I'm joking. I've got trousers on. But the point is, you could do one with no pants on and no one would ever know. You don't need to leave. And the beauty of this is a lot of agents, they've ran in-person seminars before. But guess what? For an in-person seminar, do you know why the attendance rate is so low? Because I've got to wake up. I've got to think about it. I've got to put it in my diary. I've got to eat breakfast. Let's say it's at 9 a.m. I've got to eat breakfast. 9 a.m. is a crazy time. But anyway, let's say it's 9 a.m. I've got to eat breakfast. I've got to make sure my car's got petrol. I've got to make sure my kids have gone to school, not that I have any. I've got to then drive there. I've got to find it on Google Maps. I've got to get there. I've got to buy some water. There's so many moving parts that can happen that's going to drop your show up rate. But with a webinar, what do? Oh, I've just got a text saying it's in 5 minutes. I'm going to get my phone. I'm going to click it and, oh yeah, we're ready to go. I've just logged on my phone from home. That's accessible. And we're utilizing technology in today's market through doing that. And if you're still running in-person seminars, yes, these people are going to be at a higher conversion rate, but the show up rate is going to be lower. You're going to have to rent a assembly hall or wherever you're doing it. And there's just so many moving factors, and this just simplifies it and makes everything simple. So you show up in your living room from home with your favorite cup of coffee or tea, whatever you want to do, and you host a webinar. You share your experience, you give them some key stories, you give people takeaways, and you give people value. Raw value. You're not pushing anything down anyone's throat. You're simply helping people come to their own realization that yes, I'm in a position to do something. No, I'm not in a position to do something. Is my credit score over 650? Yes, it is. No, it's not. Do I make more than $5,000 a month? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Have I been saving for have I got 3 months of bank statements, X, Y, and Z, right? You can ask these questions on the webinar to convert these people and shift them through qualified, unqualified. And then you drop the link. You have them book a call with you after they've got value. When you give someone value, they want to give you something back in return, and that's booking a call in this instance. That's having that one-on-one conversation, whether they go directly to your lender or you have it yourself. If you're the agent or if you're the lender, then you're just gonna have the conversation. So what it does is it filters out, right, all the people who are unserious and the people who are serious. And the people who are serious, they're going to love you because you've sat there and educated them and without pushing anything down anyone's throat, which is what they're tired of receiving from other agents, double texting them, sending them a million text blasts. They're tired of that. They don't want that anymore. They just want a leader is the authority in the market and who can help them do what they do best. So the permanent harvest, instant wins, 5 to 10% of buyers move immediately, so you can get immediate ROI. And I've seen, we had a case with a nurse and she was in a divorce. It was a horrible situation. And luckily, she was driving 45 minutes to get to her work from the house she was renting in with her son after her divorce. And one of my agents in Orlando, he actually helped Cliff. He helped her essentially buy, and she bought in like 29 days or something. I'll put the screenshot on the thing, and it was just beautiful. It's such a beautiful story, and he shares that every webinar, and I think that really opens people's eyes to their own situation without calling them out specifically, using other people's stories and case studies and testimonials and that kind of thing. And you can intertwine that in without people even realizing you're selling, but you're dropping seeds the whole time you're doing that webinar. You're dropping seeds that you're the man or woman for the job. So yeah, the maturing pipeline, as I mentioned, not everyone's going to be ready to go straight away. People will take time, and that's where you need those back-end selling systems to get people nurtured over time without spamming them, but also keeping in touch in a personal way. And then the authority retention. People will see you as that real estate advisor for a long period of time, and you'll have that with them. Once you educate someone, the chances of them going and working with someone else is just so diminished by a huge amount. Let me give you a quick analogy. It's a bit like I cut my leg and I go to a doctor and it's really bad, right? It's a terrible burn that I've had through a fire. And I've got this burn cut thing and I go to the doctor and I say, hey doc, I need some antibiotics, it's infected. Like, what do you recommend I can do X, Y, and Z? I go to the doctor, I get a free consultation. He says, you need to do X, Y, and Z. I've had 5 patients that had similar things, similar burns to you. I'm a highly specialized burn doctor. And this is what you need, this is how you're gonna do it, and this is the full process to get you healed in 6 months or less. Are you going to take that information and then go to another doctor and say, yeah, just to let you know, doctor, I went to another doctor, he gave me this full deep analysis and I want you to implement this for me? Of course they're not. You can charge 3%, you can charge 4%, shit, you can charge 5%. When you're the one educating because you're the authority in the market, you're no longer playing this tit for tat with other agents charging 1% listings, 0.5% listings. Say goodbye to that. It's out the window. That's 2025. We're doing things differently and we're producing you as the authority. So if you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting, then feel free to click on my website. It's the links in the description. You can book a call with me or one of my team. And we're currently offering a free trial so you can test out our webinar system and see the power of it with your own eyes. We have such an amazing system and I've put me and my team put our blood, sweat and tears into making this the best it can possibly be. People are getting insane results left, right and center. And yeah, we'd love to partner with you if you're the right fit, of course, and help you scale. So yeah, if you're ready to stop being those referred to as that door opener or the used car salesman, you want to be the authority, you want to lead your market into working with you because you deliver the best service, then feel free to book a call with me, or you can deliver this on your own. There's a lot of moving parts that go into it. I can't obviously break it down in this video. We'd be here for hours on end. But yeah, if you're interested, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll put my handle here as well. And yeah, I'd love to connect with you, but drop a subscription. I'll be dropping more and more value as these videos come out and giving you more understanding about how webinars work and how you can utilize them even yourself to just have success in 2026 and position yourself away from all of those other people in the market. So over and out from me, Fred, here at Launch Webinars. But yeah, you have a great one and I wish you all the best.